Hello and welcome to beautiful Spain. My name is Christopher and I'm here because Polestar has flown me down to take a look at the new Polestar 4, and in this video we are going to take a look at the new Polestar 3. This car is built on the SPA2 platform together with Volvo, so the new Volvo EX90 will be on this platform as well, and they share many specifications. This car is the dual motor performance, which means that we have the performance package and we have the total system effect of 380 kilowatts or 517 horsepower. But if you don't go for the performance package, if you just go for the dual motor, you have a total effect of 360 kilowatt or 489 horsepower. The battery is the same in both versions and in the EX90 as well. 111 kilowatt hours with 107 kilowatt hours net capacity, and the WLTP rating of this car is 561 kilometers, but that is with the performance package. If you go without, you have up to 628 kilometers. Polestar have also said that they will do a single motor variant of this car that is going to do a longer range, and with one motor, it's not as heavy as this one. You have the same battery. I mean, 650 kilometers or more shouldn't be an issue with the WLTP. We'll have to see when they launch that car. Right now we only have a dual motor, which means that all Polestar 3s are all-wheel drive. And I want to start here in the front because we have some things going on here, like this wing, for example. Yes, I said wing. We have a wing in front of the car, and the plan is that the air go in here and go over the hood here and then over the car, and this is done for better aerodynamics. I think it looks kind of weird. Here we have the lights from Volvo. This is very much a Volvo in Polestar look. We have the Thor's hammer here, and then we have the smart screen here, and this is a plastic bead part with lots of sensors in it, and this is where all the self-driving capability comes from. And then we'll have some cameras up here, and there will also be a version with LiDAR that improves the self-driving even more, but that comes in 2025. I don't think this particular part looks good. I think you have these mean eyes here, and then you have this weird mouth, like it looks silly. I think it looks like you have this angry eyes and then you have this something like that. I'm not a fan of it. Let me know what you think. Under the hood here, if we open up, we have 32 liters of a frunk, and that is good for the cables and some other things, but a bit too small for a bag of food. We can start moving back, and we can just stop here quickly with frameless mirrors. They look very good, not as good if you have a Caravan, because there's no way to put on any extended mirrors on this one, so you have to use over here. We have the handles that quite easy. They pop up when you when you stop and unlock the car, and when you lock the car and when you start driving, they will go in for better aerodynamics. But then we come to the charging port here, and this is also quite normal, not much to talk about. We have 11 kilowatts AC charging, and then we have DC charging in up to 250 kilowatts. But since this is a 400 volt system, the big Ionity network here in Sweden and in Europe doesn't work. It works, but only up to 200 kilowatts, because Ionity can only provide up to 500 ampere for the stations, while this would require 625 ampere to get up to 250 kilowatts with the 400 volt system. And that is the Tesla alone with. They are the only ones that can do that. And that is also why Tesla Model 3 and Model Y can charge up to 250 kilowatts at the Tesla supercharger, but not with Ionity, because Ionity can't provide it. Let's take a look at the trunk here. So before we open the trunk, how about this wing? It's massive, and it is of course to help the air leave the car for better aerodynamics. We have a glass here, which we don't have in all cars anymore. Polestar 4. Great view, from the driver's seat. Good job. Then we have like this one, which is nice, but then we can open the trunk and we get 484 liters, which isn't very big, and I'm surprised by that because the car is so big by itself. But you will see where all the space have gone when we take a look at the back seat instead. Here we have a 12-volt socket, and we have a suspension on this car, which means that I can push a button here and the whole car will lower down on the rear axle to help me load stuff in or take stuff out. And now I'm done, I can just push it up to again, and now I'm back in business. Another thing we have, which comes from Volvo, and something I really love, is this, where we can just get a much more space here. We have a floor that goes down like 30 centimeters down, and then everything that is back here is locked, and then we also have some hangers here. I really like this, and I'm so sad that not more cars does this, because it's a really great system. I had this in my old Volvo XC40. Great to use. Then we can, of course, fold the seats if we need more space. We have a 60/40, 411 liters. I'm surprised by that because the back seat is so large. And before we take a look at that, I just want to close this up. And we can have a tow bar on this car. 2.2 tons can you tow? So it's good to see that we have some more EVs coming that is able to tow that heavy. 100 kilos on the car. Oh, car started to race on the air suspension when I was leaning here. So I was, what's happening? That was happening. 100 kilos on the roof if we want that. Now let's take a look at that rear seat. So now I am sitting in the back seat of the Polestar 3, and I really like it here. Here we have a real leather, like the cushions here are super nice, super soft, and it's actually leather from Scotland, from a producer that produces this leather from animals that have had a good life. And I can link to more and to an article from Polestar where they describe more on how this leather came to be, because I think it's super nice of them to have real leather in an electric car in these days when everything should be plastic and vegan leather and whatnot. Instead, they have a supplier that can deliver real leather in a good way. I think that's great. There's no other plastic or anything like that. We have really nice interior here. It's just you feel the quality here. Still no handles here. Why is that? I mean, Polestar is a performance brand, is what you want to call it. Shouldn't my passengers have a handle for when I'm driving around like a maniac? Or when I'm doing active driving? Why? Is it only the driver that should have fun? If I turn around, I can take down the armrest here. It's very large, as you can see. And then we have, come on, there we go. And here we have our cup holders. Nice. This is the performance package car, so that's why we have the gold here. In the middle console, we have touch buttons for our climate. We have heated seats. We have some air vents, and we have some USB-Cs down there. And to be honest, I think it's the same thing as in the Polestar 4. When I'm driving, I'm sitting here and it's a bit hard to reach. Like for me as a grown-up, I probably can, but a kid will not be able to. So that's something you have to keep in mind if you plan to have a lot of kids here. Well, kids in the back that usually do this kind of stuff. Bowers & Wilkins. We have the Bowers & Wilkins speakers in this car. It sounds amazing. But instead of talking about the sound quality in this car, let's talk about, it is so much space here, so much space. Like I could probably sell this to a student, rent this out to a student. Let's jump to the front instead, and then talk a bit more about that and the screen itself. So now we are in the front seat again, and this car really feels like the Scandinavian minimalism in reality. You have a lot of soft material and cloth around in the car, no plastic or anything like that. We have some piano plastic here, and we have some in the doors, but otherwise the interior is made of cloth, or at least we have cloth on the outside of this material. Is really nice. The steering wheel is a favorite here for me, to just hold it, and you have good grip on it. The materials, real leather, super nice, and it feels like a really good wheel. The bottoms are also nice, and I think this is the bottoms that we have in the new Volvo EX30 from model year 2025, because this is exactly how it looks on the pictures on Volvo's website. And if that is true, it will be a huge improvement, because these buttons are great. You can feel them and you can touch them, and you get the good feedback when you click on them. Super nice. And I accidentally activate Google Assistant. Hey Google, tell me a joke.
Prepare to chuckle or groan. Why can't Dalmatians play hide and seek? Because they're always spotted.
Yeah, that was funny. Let's, before we talk about the screens, we have two USB-Cs down here. We have a big center console floating, so we have some space underneath. We have a place for our mobile phone here, or if we use a card to start the car, we place it here, put in drive, and then we can remove it. Two cup holders and volume knob that is not as good as in the Polestar 4, I think, but still does a good job with tactile feedback for me as a driver. I can keep my eyes on the road and then just do this, and I'm sure that I'm changing the volume because of the feedback in the knob. Here on the armrest we can lift it up, and we have a lot of storage. It's quite deep actually, and now I am reaching the button. Like, it's quite large, as you can notice. We have the Bowers and Wilkins systems in this car. Sounds amazing. It's really, really good. The chairs are standard in this car. They are good. They are not the best, but they are good. You have thigh support. You have good sides that will hold you in place if you start driving crazy. And I just now realized that there's one thing that I haven't talked about in this car, and I will do that in my driving impressions video instead, because I can't tell you about the driving impressions until June 10th, and then I will release another video on the driving impressions. I'll talk more about that later, so keep subscribed if you haven't done that yet. Let's take a look at the screens. So here we have the driver display in the Polestar 3. It looks really good. We have Google Maps in background, we have our speed, and we have our percentage and range, and we have some other metadata. It's really just showing what you need. And if I put the car in driving, we get the pilot assist symbol here, which we can see that it's currently turned off. When it's turned on, it's yellow. So it's really nice to always have it and to know that the system is currently off. If you don't want Google Maps, you can push a button on the steering wheel and you can get a black background. Or if we I need to be in driving. There we go. Here. Now I'm standing on not a road with lines, but if I were, you would see the lines of the road, and you would see your other cars around you as well. So this is quite a nice view when you are driving with pilot assist. If we go back to Google Maps, and we start navigating somewhere like this, for example, you would see it even here. So that's also nice to have. So like in the other Polestar cars, we have Android Automotive here, and we have Google Maps here. We can plan here, and we can have charging planned for us. Super nice. We can also watch YouTube, for example. Like now I need to update settings apparently to watch videos. I haven't done that, but we can also go here to see other apps we have installed right now, and we can go to download all apps to see more apps that are ready for this car. Super nice. We can go to car settings, and everything is as in the Polestar 4. It's big buttons everywhere. It's very contrast with the colors. So we have white, orange and black, and very easy to see where you should push, click, and what settings is on and off. And for example, this suspension right now is on standard, now it's on firm. It's very easy to see, and you have some graphs if in some settings that explain what you're doing. It's really a good system, and I also think that it's faster than in the Polestar 4 and the Volvo EX30 as well. Everything just works when I tap it. Just there's no delay or anything. It just is. I really enjoy this system, and I can't wait to have a press car of this car for a whole week and just being able to enjoy this. It's really nice. And I mean, when was the last time you saw numbers this big? And I don't think it will be much more funnier than this. As I said, I have an embargo on the driving impression for this car until June 10th. And when that day comes, there will be a video on the channel with the driving impressions of the car. But right now, I have to thank you for watching. And if you haven't yet watched the Polestar 4 video, have a look at that. And I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.